Going for 5 each side. At the park today, and I have my cable set up, and I have my 15-pound steel mace with me and the 25-pound kettlebell, which at least for right now I'm using as a weight on the cable. Feeling a little exhausted today, sore all over. Yesterday was a pretty high activity day, and I also did jiu-jitsu, so just a little bit of wear and tear from people like squeezing my neck and my joints and stuff. In any case, here we are, and I'm starting off with some rows, but while doing the rows I'm going to have my leg kind of bent like this so that it stretches out the piriformis, which is the side glute. And as I row, I'm going to lean forward so that I'm creating a mobility component in the hip area, and I'm going to stretch down and look away. This exaggerates the stretch in the lats and gives you a mobility component while also training the back muscles. Going for 10. When I do these movements where like my legs are bent, or even any kind of like mobility exercise where I'm like leaning forward like this, so cable good mornings would be an example, I feel like it kind of, now it's not going to show up in weight but in height, but like it feels like it's elongating my spine. And what I'm trying to say is it doesn't really show up in like height increases, or I never feel anything like that or anything, but it just feels like it's decompressing. Which is a good feeling, especially after sitting for most of the day. One of the things I've noticed, this is unrelated to the exercise, is that as the weather gets cooler, fewer people are going to the swimming pool that's in my area. So I might try to get a few swims in before they close. Not today, but like close for the season. In any case, supersetting this with steel mace 360s, 10 on each side. So yeah, I'm going to superset these two for 5 sets and then on to the next thing. So for the next set of movements, doing a single arm chest press, but I'm going to try and like mimic a punching sort of motion. So I have like one hand up by my face and I'm going to rotate along with the weight as it goes back and forward. So here I have full stretch of the chest and coming down in a punching motion and also rotating the wrist as I bring the weight down. Going for 10. Switching sides. Then with the steel mace, doing 10 single arm steel mace 360s. So yeah, I'm gonna do this for 5 sets and then on to something else. So for the next set of movements, I'm doing a steel mace complex, which looks like this. So starting off with a 2-arm 360, front swing, single arm 360 into a curtsy lunge, and repeat on the other side. Going for 5 each side. Within this complex, the whole body gets involved. A little bit of back, a little bit of shoulders, a little bit of chest, a little bit of legs, all of it. And the core is involved the whole time in shifting the weight and redirecting the momentum. And then with the kettlebell, doing swing squat to figure 8. Looks like this. I'm going for 4. So yeah, this is the third set of movements. I'm gonna do it for 5 sets like the previous 2, and then on to something else. I'm going to chat and juggle for the remainder of the workout. Yeah, didn't want to do too much more volume since tomorrow is going to be a high activity day again, with jiu-jitsu class and weight training. So yeah, today is like an, semi deload, but not really, just not super high activity, not super intense. In any case, let's move to the first sequence. Didn't get as much of, or the right amount of forward force required to make it spin 3 times by the time it got to that position. Yeah, the days like yesterday are really exhausting and kind of leave me drained the following day. So today I'm feeling a little drained, like in the sense that I still feel pretty strong and stuff, but it feels like I have to mentally push a little bit more. Like I feel like I'm dragging myself through the workout rather than attacking it. And sometimes that's what it's about. Like there's going to be days where you don't feel like doing the thing and you just kind of go through the motion. And if you get past those days, then usually you're able to attack pretty soon again. But if you start taking days off on such days, then you just end up like snowballing. Like you start not doing the thing whenever you feel a little uncomfortable, and then that can add up as well. Should have thrown it higher. Ah, that was pretty good. Man, so many skills that I'm trying to get good at all at once. Steel mace stuff, kettlebell juggling, jiu-jitsu, and they're all like pretty like all of them are pretty taxing physically, but it feels like there's some sort of carryover between all three. And also the fact that like I do all these variety of exercises, like moving the body in every which way. Like I feel like it's starting to have a carryover into everything, where my ability to break down something and then learn it seems a lot like that process of getting a new thing and then learning that thing to be able to perform it at an acceptable level. Like the time between when I start and then when it gets to that acceptable level, it's like reducing big time with every new skill I learn. Ah. Let's do that again. That was good. Probably gonna do this for another 7 to 10 minutes. Let's go over my food today. So, or at least how I've been doing my calories. So the day before jiu-jitsu, I had a lot of bananas, a lot of carbs, because I think like having carbs on the same day versus having it on the day before, I feel like when you have it on the day before, your muscles have time to replenish and stuff, so it's ready for the high activity day. And so the day before yesterday, I had a bunch of carbs. But yesterday at night, and then just the whole day, I only had protein and stuff. So by protein, I mean beef and chicken and cheese and whole milk. I haven't had any carbs yet today, but I plan on it. I just ran out of bananas, so I need to get some bananas. But yeah, so far today I've had whole milk and ground chicken with cheese and barbecue sauce. Yeah. But I'm gonna have some more carbs so my muscles feel ready to go tomorrow. But then tomorrow is going to be somewhat of a low carb day. Friday, Saturday, probably low carb. Saturday, depending on how much volume I do work, like I work out, that might affect the amount of carbs that I have that day. But in any case, yeah, that's just the way I'm thinking about my diet. It's what seems to make me feel good. I'm not necessarily basing it off of any scientific studies or whatever. I'm just doing what makes me feel good. And I think that is a point that is often lost, in the sense, if you try something and it feels good to you, but then some scientist tells you, hey, that's all in your head, the studies say this, and then you do what the studies say, but it makes you feel like shit, or it doesn't give you the results that it wants you to give, then what was right. Because that's happened to me, where I was doing my own thing and then I was getting good results. Then I started following people online, like who were like, if it fits your macros, absolutists, to call them, like no matter, like the food that you ate didn't matter at all. It was all came down to the numbers of carbs, fats, and proteins. Like, I think that's not the right approach to take either. Ah. The rotation was off axis, so the handle wasn't exactly where it was supposed to be. Alright, let's try to do some 3D movement. I wasn't comfortable catching that. Ah. All right, let's try that again. Left hand came in too late. So I've been seeing a lot of people online train with sandbags. So like 100-pound, 200-pound, 300-pound sandbags. And that is something I eventually want to get into. It's just that I need to find that much sand from somewhere. And then I have to load it. Yeah, anyway. The reason I want to do that is apparently carrying sandbags mimics carrying human bodies the best. And as a result, it'll probably have some good translation into jiu-jitsu, is what I'm hoping. But I'm not getting into that anytime soon. I have a lot on my plate already. Let's try that again. Ah. Ah, come on. Oh well. All right. All right, last one. Not gonna try and make it too complicated. All right. Yeah, that's all for today's video. Kind of a lighter volume day, but still some good work done. That's all for today's video. See you all tomorrow.